Okay, great. The last thing I asked you to read in Resnick's chapter about probability is a complicated, dense, mathematically dense discussion of the subjective view of probability. And I want to spend a few minutes boiling that down to its conceptual basics. I'm not going to ask you in this course to do anything like understand the proofs that he gives or reproduce any components of those proofs. That's not the purpose of why we're studying the concept of probability in this particular course. But I do want you to understand something, and then I'm going to open the discussion board for you to discuss something about this. Put your thoughts on about this point. It has to do with this. So one of the things that emerges from that discussion at the end of chapter 3 of Resnick is, and remember, we're talking here about a theory about quantifying risk. And the first point that emerges is that a central notion is this notion of coherence. Coherence is basically characterized as that your assessments of risk obey the probability calculus. That was the point of that whole Dutch book discussion, because if your assessments of probability, no matter how wildly off they are coherent, no so-called Dutch book can be made against you. You could not be tempted into a series of bets on your assignments of probabilities that would guarantee that you lose. Now look, you may lose in any one of your particular bets on your assessment of risk. They may be wrong, they may be mistaken, but if you're coherent, if your assessments of risk obey the probability calculus, then you could not be tempted into a set of bets, each of which you would deem rational, but which would guarantee your loss.